Hello everyone. If you are tuning in from Facebook or you are listening in on your podcast, welcome to podcast number 8. We are going to be talking about the dreadful scale. As a trainer, I hear time and time again from clients that they want to get in shape, and they always say something like, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, or if I could just get to 150 pounds, I'll be good. So set on a number. And especially around the new year, you guys like these New Year's resolutions and you throw out all of these kinds of numbers that you want to get to. But if you are picking an arbitrary number for weight loss, you're kind of setting yourself up for emotional failure. It's great to set a goal, but your scale does not reveal the entire story and can send you on a roller coaster ride of emotions, and nobody wants that. We are suckers for instant gratification, me included. And in the very beginning of a journey, anybody who's embarking on this new lifestyle, you may see some big losses, but guess what? That number is going to slow down and eventually come to a screeching halt. Because most of that initial weight loss in the beginning is just water. And that big water loss, it really spoils us. So then we become so freaking frustrated when we don't see any more big losses. So today I'm here to share with you 5 reasons why you shouldn't use a scale as your only gauge for success, and why you should stop stepping on it every single day if that's you. So let's start with reason number 1. Your weight will fluctuate like the New York Stock Exchange. I don't play that game, but I'm familiar with it. So it will change before and after your workouts. From morning, noon to night, it will change. It will change with food consumption. Anytime you eat, it's going to change, especially with sodium. It will change with your bowel movements or lack thereof. It will change after you drink a cup of water. It will also change when you just put on clothes or take them off. The scale is so wildly inaccurate, and for a female, it's possible to fluctuate up to 5 pounds in just one day. And for a male, maybe closer to 10 pounds. That's a lot of fluctuation there, guys. My point here is that these fluctuations do not represent fat loss or fat gain. That number is not telling you the entire story. Number 2, the scale says nothing of your current state of health. Nothing. It doesn't tell you anything about your relationship with food. It doesn't care about your hormones or your digestive health or the amount of inflammation you may be experiencing. The scale doesn't know your training regimen, whether you're an athlete or you're a beginner. Nor does it account for your stress levels. Like, it doesn't care what's going on in your life. The scale doesn't even know if you're gaining lean muscle or losing body fat either. Those are 2 big things. And the last time I checked, the scale does not ask you how well you slept last night. It don't talk to me. It doesn't tell me, hey Nina, you should have gotten more sleep last night. No, it doesn't talk back. These are the things that impact your health directly, not the number on the scale. Number 3, the scale doesn't reveal or expose all of your true results. When you focus so much on that number, you miss out on observing all of the other more significant results of your hard work and effort. Think about the next few questions that I'm going to ask. Are you sleeping better at night? Do you have more energy throughout the day? Are you less crabby and more, lovey-dovey with your significant other? Are you having less cravings? Are you recovering faster from your workouts? Have any of your medical conditions greatly improved, like blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes? Are your clothes fitting better? Are you getting stronger in your lifts at the gym? How do you feel when you're in there? Or do you find yourself just looking better in the mirror? These are the questions you should be asking yourself instead of thinking that you've just failed because the scale and that number hasn't moved enough to your liking. Ask yourself those questions. You should value the improvements in your sleep, the improvements in your energy, the improvements in your mood, and of course the improvements in your strength. Who doesn't want to be strong? Because again, these factors speak more to your health than a number on the scale. Number 4, the scale makes us fixate on food and workouts. Normally, we associate the number on the scale with a couple of major factors like food and training. I mean, if you eat less and you work out more, that number on the scale should go down, right? 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 No? Oh, no, it does not work that way. There are so many other variables that you have to consider if the scale is not moving in the way that you want it to. For example, your sleep. How many hours have you been getting regularly? Are you not sleeping? Are you sleeping anywhere between 3 to 5 hours? If so, but by results, you're not going to get any, okay? How about your workouts? Are you getting sufficient recovery time or in between? Are you actually resting in between? What about the stress in your life? What's going on at work? What's going on with your family life? Are you handling it okay? Or are you eating out of stress? I know I'm a stress eater. I stress eat when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm excited. Those are things that you have to account for. And the number on the scale does not reflect everything that is going on in your life. It doesn't care. So it's not black or white. And it shouldn't just relate to your food or your workouts. Your lifestyle plays a major role in your body composition, which the scale does not tell you. Again, it's an arbitrary number. But of course, no one looks at the scale and says, damn, I think I need to get more sleep. Who does that? Also, please keep in mind that if your body is in a constant state of stress, the hormone cortisol will be triggered and it will rise and it will increase sugar in your bloodstream. This in turn can lead to additional inflammation, water retention, and possible fat storage if you don't have it under control. So, a primary example, if you are a person that goes to the gym, let's say anywhere between 6 to 7 times per week, so daily basis, and you hit it hard, but you are not refeeding appropriately afterwards, and you're not getting enough sleep in between your workouts, that's a lot of stress on the body, and you're not going to get the results that you're busting your ass for. So if you're not seeing the scale move, and you may even possibly be seeing it go up, you should give a little consideration into the fact that your body needs rest and give your body a break. Like resting for a few days, eating more complex carbs, and just aim to get more sleep. Number 5, the scale does not define who you are. It's so easy to get caught up in the numbers game because that's what decades of weight loss culture has preached to us. If you don't lose a certain number on the scale, or if you don't weigh a certain number by this amount of time, then you have essentially failed in your journey, right? This is complete bullshit because a $20 piece of plastic should not dictate whether you have a good day or a bad day or whether you feel good about yourself. That little piece of should not make you feel that way. It's just so psychologically unhealthy to allow a number to determine your self-image, your self-worth, and your success. But this happens so frequently because we're creatures of habit and we just can't stop. So if you're nodding your head like, oh yeah, that's me. I get on the scale in the morning, I get on it at night. If you are that person, take a second to truly think about how the scale affects you emotionally. And if you truly just use it as a gauge and you can go about your day with no problem, then okay, sure. But if you are that person that gets on the scale every morning and night expecting to see changes, but you're seeing it go up and then down, and you're just about to throw in the towel, but wait, you have to step on it again, and even more frequently now, So it's becoming this vicious cycle. And this little piece of plastic is dictating everything, all of your emotions, your happiness. If this is you, then I'm going to encourage you to use other methods to help keep you motivated. And especially if you are new to this whole healthy lifestyle, what if you went out for date night, say at a sushi place, and you had a couple of rolls, a little bit of sake, nothing too crazy, but then you wake up the next morning and you are 5 pounds heavier than the night before. If you didn't know any better, it would probably demoralize you, make you question yourself, like, why did I do that? And make you rethink why you're even attempting this whole fat loss journey. It will stop you in your tracks. So instead of setting yourself up for just bitter disappointment, you can track your progress through other methods. So let's start with your clothes. Use your favorite pair of pants as a gauge. We all have that favorite pair of jeans. Use it as a gauge. Are they still fitting you? Are they a little snug in a certain area? Or you can even go out and buy a size smaller to use that as motivation too. Clothes is such a great gauge. Number 2, take progress pics from the beginning of your journey to maybe a couple weeks after, every 2 weeks, maybe then every 4 weeks. If that is actually one of my biggest regrets when I first started my journey. I have 1 to maybe 3 before photos, and a photo will not lie to you. It will not, it reveals so much more than what you see on that scale. Number 3, taking tape measurements every 4 weeks. Get an old school tape measure from Joann's Fabrics. You know what that is. Nice and long, yeah. And use that, because if you are losing body fat, you're going to be losing in different areas throughout your journey. Meaning, I always love to refer my clients to the melting ice cube. Melting ice cube sitting in your palm. It's going to melt on all sides, underneath, on top. It's going to melt in the way which it wants to melt. So your body is very similar to that. Where you lose fat, who knows where it's going to come off first. Yes, you will have trends over time where if you are rebounding, yeah, you may lose fat in your midsection first. But after that, who knows whether it's going to be losses in your arms, losses in your legs. There is no such thing as on-spot reduction. So it's going to be different every time. So don't get frustrated when you don't see losses specifically in your legs or, in your arms where you are trying to lose. Because guess what? If you are losing anywhere at all, that means you're winning and you're getting results. Any loss anywhere means you are getting progress. And because the shape of your body is actually changing. And again, going back to the photos, you'll see that in photos. This is where body fat analyzers come in handy. DEXA scans, bod pods, those two are probably the most accurate, and they do sell your typical handheld analyzer, which we do use in our studios. These are going to measure your lean mass, your fat mass, your bone density, and where, of course, you distribute your fat and your muscle. And this is so important because, again, the scale is not going to tell you that. Number 5, setting goals that aren't related to your weight. For example, set a daily water quota goal, meaning if you know you don't drink enough water, set a goal of drinking 4 bottles of water. Start there, okay? What about setting a goal that's related to food? So maybe eating fewer processed foods or laying off of the microwavable meals. That's another goal. And lastly, maybe setting a goal of prepping your own lunch for work. All of these habits will eventually lead to some type of fat loss or weight loss. Whereas if you use the number on the scale as a goal, you will be dancing in circles because you have yet to build any healthy habits. And without changing a few things in your lifestyle, then you'll never get to your destination. Again, circles. Who wants to go in circles? Number 6, keep a journal. Document when you feel great. Write down when you feel absolutely terrible. Write down when your workouts sucked. Write down when you felt great during your workouts. Write down when you're having cravings. Document, everything from your hormonal, kind of angst, like when you're kind of mean to people. Yeah, document when you're mean to people. It's all of those little things. You have to find trends in your behaviors so that you are more aware of your weight fluctuations. Example for me, I know that during a certain time of the month, my appetite is so out of control and so ravenous that I crave anything and everything around me. And if I allow myself to have unhealthy options available to me, like in my house, I'm gonna eat them all. And I'm not even gonna flinch. So knowing that that is going to happen, I make sure I do not get on that scale that week, because that number will always be higher than where my body normally stays at. I have to remember, and you have to remember, to account for excess bloating, extra carbs, additional stress. All of those things you have to account for. So being aware of how your body functions normally is so important, so that you're not beating yourself up when you see movements on the scale because of Mother Nature. It's inevitable. Don't beat yourself up for that. So make sure to write down and track your appetite, your sleep, your hydration, your menstrual cycles, if this pertains to you. And lastly, number 7, a great way to track your progress is by taking account for all of the smallest micro achievements you have accomplished. For example, maybe you can now walk up the flight of stairs at your work without getting winded. That's a big deal, guys. Or maybe you can even give your kids a piggyback ride or walk in the park with them without having your back give out or you being winded. Again, that's a big deal. Or maybe you can now do 5 full push-ups than you could last month. Last month you couldn't do anything. Guys, these are all wins, and this means progress. So as you can see, there are so many different ways that you can track your success. And these methods will help keep you motivated until you've reached some of your goals. I will admit that the scale can have its uses from time and time again. If you're just getting started in your journey, a few big changes in the first few weeks can really, really help you see the progress and build momentum. Also, over long periods of time, it's a good way to tell if you're headed in the right direction or not. However, just as I explained earlier, it can also cause all kinds of emotional stress and trauma and mental issues that bring down your morale. And to be honest, the closer you get to your goals, the less reliant you're going to be on that scale. So, that's my rant, and that's going to wrap it up. And my takeaway message to you is that I hope that you implement at least one method that I mentioned before, so that you no longer have to just rely on the scale to tell you whether you are getting results or whether you're good enough or whether you're achieving success. So please make sure you subscribe to our podcast channel, and if you are enjoying this content, then give us a 5-star rating and let us know what you want to hear more about. We greatly appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye now.